Hey there, everybody. I'm McClellan, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here with the weekly reading and guidance, and the topic this week is really on breakups and abandonment. Yeah, big deal. It keeps coming through. I've worked with clients for many years. I've been a coach since 2001. I've been a communications coach, and I've had this JOYConnector business working with people in really a deeper spiritual way, a deeper relationship with themselves since 2015. So I've worked with a lot of folks, and I've worked with people who have come to talk to me about their careers, about their purpose, about their past, and every time, and I mean every single time, the topic of love and relationships comes up in my coaching every single time. Whether it's the person who wants a promotion or had trouble with their mom or whatever it may be, love always is at the crux. So what's this all about? So as you know, I've gone through a pretty big breakup this year, and I was just talking with a client this morning who's gone through a similar experience and transition. And these challenges that we go through, these experiences of life, love, and pain, is really our training ground for life. It shows us what's important. Anytime we have a challenge, it really helps us see what's important in our lives, what's meaningful. And so around a breakup, here's what I've found is really helpful. Do not bullshit yourself, okay? So we get into these places, especially when we have deep trauma and abandonment, because that stuff's gonna come up. And we see here is where we reject ourselves. When we try to tell ourselves a story, or when we're really afraid of letting go of a relationship, we're afraid of letting go of a story, thinking that holding on to the story is going to keep us safe. What I mean about don't abandon yourself and these kind of bullshit stories we tell ourselves is we're still the directors of our own story. The story doesn't end with that person. We're just taking out the individual that didn't work out in that relationship from the story. The story continues on. This is what dating's all about, you guys. It's all about sorting, right? Like, I'll have people ask me, is this the one, or I'm looking for the one. There's no one, you guys. There's no one. Dating is a sorting process. The one is this scarcity mentality. Don't want to get into that. You're kind of setting yourself up for a fail. Or if you're looking solely kind of based on where is this amazing chemistry, chemistry is based on our wounds. Chemistry is based on our wounds. So yes, you get to work out those wounds with other people. But just know first, what's your wounding? What's your wounding? What's your past pain? Where does it come from? Because our life changes when our choices change. That's really what it comes down to, you guys. The chemistry can show you a red flag, and it's making different choices around those red flags are what really changes our relationship. Our relationship in life, our relationship to ourselves, and our relationship with other people, because we're only going to be able to love somebody else as much as we have loved ourselves. So if you're not giving much to yourself, you think you can give something to somebody else? Not so much, really, just as much as you give yourself. So think about it this way, you guys. As painful as this is, this experience, it's what frees us. It's what frees us. A soulmate or the one is not going to heal us. This is the experience that we get to learn more deeply about ourselves and choose differently. So in the letting go of the relationship, there may be a little bit of withdrawal. There may be a lot of withdrawal, depending on what your past looks like and your patterns and your wounding looks like. So number one on that withdrawal process, because it may feel like a drug, no contact, you guys. No communication whatsoever. I'm doing this. Negative. No. Why? Why no communication of all forms? Because if you don't prioritize your feelings, no one else will. and you need space for those feelings. This relationship didn't work out for a reason. So this is where we get into the bullshit stories of, but here's a great reason why I need to contact them. I need my shoes. I need my blah, 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 blah. It's COVID. I want to check on them. Oh, their grandmother died. I should call them. Negative. If we don't have good boundaries, no one else will have good boundaries with us. Like, it's that simple, you guys. If we're not taking good care of ourselves, and trust me, that communication is just selfish. That's all that it is. It's just fighting the withdrawal. It's selfish. Respect you both. Give them space. If you want to call them, call somebody else. You want to talk to them? Talk to the sky, talk to the stars, talk to your dog, talk to somebody else and have that conversation. Give them the space. Give you the space to have your feelings. Trust me. The closure, if you're looking for closure, it's only going to come from you. Closure can never come from another person. They can't tell you what's in your heart. That's not going to happen. Do you want to write them a letter and burn it? Sure, do that. If you want to get it out, go for it. Write it out. But give yourself the space. So look, these painful experiences are what stretch us. They grow us. For me, 2020 is the year of growing up, because I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't run away. I kept seeing the physicality of myself and feeling not well in all these various ways. It started with pain in my shoulder. Then it turned into, I was having these fainting spells. Then it turned into this stomach pain and nausea, and it would come in waves, come and go. But I now know that pain that was manifesting in all these different ways was why we get sick and depressed and anxious when we exchange our truth for something else. When we exchange our truth for something else. You know, I grew up in a way that in order to have relationships with my parents, I had to make a lie the truth. And I knew when I was trading myself. I knew it. And I didn't understand it as an adult. Why did that feel so bad when I did that? When I traded myself? Why did that feel so bad? I had nowhere else to go. I was a kid. But I know, and it came out in my body. Hives, stomach pains, allergies, sickness, depression. It came out in all anxiousness. It came out in all these ways when I sold myself away, you know, like when I traded. The harder road, you guys, is self-abandonment. That is the harder road. So if you're going back to a relationship, or you think and romanticize this relationship that's ended, if I go back, everything would be okay because then I'll have this certain future and all the stuff, it's really the harder way. The softer way is to be with you. It is to be with you. It is to be in your pain that was there all along anyway. It is. And to heal it and see it and grow deeper in relationship with yourself. These are our initiations in life. And we grow through them and with them and create these healthier relationships as a result, and better lives, and live out that story that we dream of. We get to live it out. But with ourselves, being honest. That's the only way, you guys. It's being honest with you in all the ways. If you think hiding part of yourself or lying about part of yourself is what's going to get you the love, it's actually what's going to get you the abandonment, because you're just abandoning yourself. So really, the truth is the only way, you guys. But we can do it together. I wanted to just give you a card from the Flower Evolution deck. I pulled two cards, the top and the bottom. Okay, so the top of the deck is the Hong Kong Orchid. Isn't that beautiful? The Hong Kong Orchid, which is all about self-acceptance. I love how these cards always line up with a message. It's why I like to sometimes do cards at the end of my client sessions. It just reinforces the work we're doing. And the message is, do you hold high enough standards, especially for yourself? The Hong Kong Orchid encourages us to fully accept and love all the parts of ourselves, particularly when we can be too hard on ourselves. It helps us feel comfortable in our own skin and at ease with the deepest essence of who we are. The orchid magnifies full self-expression, feeling comfortable with yourself, self-love and appreciation, and it dissolves the fear of being exposed, of holding back aspects of ourselves, and of being too hard on ourselves. Guys, we're not going to get the love we seek, that full acceptance, the being seen, the being heard, the being validated, by abandoning ourselves. And the underneath the deck, I don't know if you other folks who pull cards do this or know this, but it's really our subconscious that's on the other underside of the deck, so I like to pull that card too. And I pulled Bird of Paradise. I remember when I first moved out to the West Coast from the East Coast, I saw these everywhere in LA, and now I know why. The Bird of Paradise activates our connection. Do you come up with a ton of great ideas but have a hard time turning those ideas off? Bird of Paradise helps us find a more meditative state of mind and feel more connected to everything around us. So as we feel more deeply connected to others, as we move from head to heart, as we quiet our mind in meditation, we dissolve the too-thinking mind, the cynicism and the overanalyzing, and superficial relationships. Aren't these two great for us today? I thought these two were great. All right, guys, I want to leave you with one little exercise. If all of this is kind of sounding familiar to you, if you've gone through a breakup recently, or you find yourself in a relationship and thinking about your ex, or you're starting to date and still thinking about your ex, or you're stopping yourself from dating because you're thinking about your ex, I want you to go through this exercise. I want you to write down what that relationship represents for you. What felt so good about it? What are the things you want desperately to go back to? Think about that. Because again, the ex keeps us from opening up to others. We think it's going to keep us safe, right? It's in this position of like, well, can't open up to anybody else because I'm still thinking about the last one. Yeah. It's all within here. It's all within here. So think about those qualities. Take that experience for yourself. Write down, what does that relationship represent for you? What do you think you're missing? And then step number 2, how can you give that to yourself? Because that's what you're longing for. It's not the other person. It's not how you're romanticizing them or what you think the relationship was. It's what you need now. It's what you're asking for from you, and you can give it. It's all inside you. That's all you got. All right, my friends, just remember, we're only handed what we can handle. So what you got and what you got in front of you is for your benefit. So use it to create the most amazing life that you dare to live today. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel here, Chris McClellan, for my weekly readings and prompts. And if you like this topic of relationships, I have a program that you can join in, a monthly subscription service next year called Hawk Feathers. And we have a month that's dedicated fully to relationships. But as I said, this topic of love weaves itself through every month. So if you just want to sign up for a whole year worth of workshops, one-on-one sessions with me, videos, weekly support, a community that is doing the work right alongside you and is not afraid to stare themselves in the face and look at the truth and find the love that they're seeking inside of themselves, then $2,000 and the full year is yours. That's on my website, JOYConnector. And I will be seeing you all next week. Email or DM with any questions, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye.